through the Child Care Fund, cancelable if the state requirement lapses, and authorizes the board chair to execute all required documents.
Support. And a motion and support. Is there any discussion?
This has come down from the state, required in our contract, and if we don't use it, we can get rid of MVP and we don't need the services. So the motion says no.
In favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to authorize a proclamation in honor of Davis Cartage, celebrating 75 years in business, and authorize the board chair to execute the document.
Support.
Discussion?
I drafted this morning before I had coffee. If anybody finds any errors, mistakes, wants to change anything, feel free. And we can have it done by tomorrow.
75 years is good. I didn't realize they were that old.
120 employees, 460,000 square feet of warehouse. Started in, I think, late 30s, early 40s. This gentleman bought a Chevrolet. Used $700 he borrowed from his grandpa to start hauling sugar beets. And moved on from there, paid back his grandpa in year one with interest, and went around since. So
That was bought out though by John State.
I imagine you will be giving this tribute, as this is your district.
Yeah, I know John. I remember when he worked at the brick plant. That was 40 years ago.
All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to authorize the payment of 1/2 of the convention facility revenue sharing payment received, $41,590, to Mid-State Health Network in compliance with Section 10, parenthesis 2 of Public Act 106 of 1985 as amended.
Support.
And a motion and support. Is there any discussion? All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to approve the act pursuant to the authority granted to a county under Section 8 of Public Act 152 to exempt Shiawassee County government from the requirements of 2011 Public Act 152 for calendar year 2017.
Support.
And a motion and support. Is there any discussion?
I think you can talk to this.
Judge Clarkston brought this to my attention yesterday. Right there. This is something that we did in the past. Last year it was 7 yeas, 0 nays. It's just pretty much procedure that we've been following for many, many years. And Judge Clarkston wanted to make sure that it was done again this year. Discussion, all in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. I'd just like to say one thing. The last 2 months, Pat and I, our financial director, have met with elected officials, department heads, and quite a daily time. And then this last month, we met with all those departments again, and department heads, and Hartman and myself and Pat talked budget with every department. It was interesting and enlightening, and we found some things that we could save money on. We found some things we need to spend some money on, and we found some things that need to be taken care of. And actually, this Ford vehicle for probate court was actually one of those things that did come up, and we have to handle those kind of things. But anyway, next month we have the budgets are in, and we'll have a prepared budget and the dollar amount that we think we have to spend and how much we have to spend. So we'll have it next month for everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner Fahman. Commissioner Horvath, Public Safety and Courts. And
Give you my report. I'll go to item 7.
Please, sir.
Motion to consider authorizing the advertisement and sale of the emergency management C60 box truck and authorize the board chair to execute all required documents.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
If I may have, wish just to make a comment on this matter. We had some information that was given to us in committee.
Yeah,
If you could
it's
just repeat that.
it was our tech truck that we were going to use for tech rescue. We don't have tech rescue team in the county. Most of that equipment is going to go back to the regional truck that's still available to us if we have an emergency that we can't handle. But this truck costs us $1 to get, and we're going to use it for wasting money on it.
We're gonna sell it for two?
Sure.
Profit on it?
Sure.
100%,
My thought
100%.
is put a price on it, best offer, and see what happens.
This was probably a month or 6 weeks ago. Me and Rich met out there and went over all of our equipment. It's an older truck, gas truck, hydraulic brakes, if that means anything to anybody. Just a lot of maintenance and upkeep on a vehicle like this. With selling this truck, we may not take care of it, but there's some other funds that we're gonna move around in Rich's budget, and we want to get rid of this truck, and then, like I said, half the stuff we're getting rid of is going down to the other county, and the stuff that we do need on it, we're gonna buy a trailer. And we've discussed it, me and Rich have discussed it. It's better to have one truck, the Ford pickup that we have, and several trailers that are set up for the emergencies that we need, and just hook up to a trailer and go, rather than to have old trucks and a lot of different vehicles that we're putting plates on, insurance, batteries, things like that. So we just kind of went over it and decided this was the best way to go. Further discussion? All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 8, motion to consider authorizing the contract for renewal of the Code Red service in the amount of $27,000 per year for a period of 2 years from June 31, 2016 through May 31, 2018, and authorize the board chair to execute all required documents.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion?
If I get Richard again, just to give us a brief little.
It's basically a renewal contract. We changed the renewal dates to fit inside the performance period of the grant, so they will reimburse us our money when we pay this. But other than that, it's the same code red we've had, and we just had to change the dates so that it fit inside the performance period.
Further discussion? All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Moving back to item number 1. Motion to consider authorizing approval of the prosecutor's office cooperative reimbursement contract with MDHHS for the period of October 1, 2016 through September 31, 2021, and authorize the board chair to execute all required documents.
Been a motion and a support. Is there any discussion? All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to consider authorizing approval of the new friend of the court cooperative reimbursement contract with MDHHS for the period of from October 1, 2016 through September 31, 2021, and authorize the board chair to execute all required documents. Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? Both these motions go together. Walt, you want to say anything, or anybody?
In regards to the two,
Yeah.
they are just basically backfill for two that one is already gone and one's expected to leave this week. So they're backfill of two row positions. There may be two.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking about the MDHHS, sir.
That's a prosecutor.
That's well, it's prosecutor, and it's all of you guys, right?
No, this is more
There's a
prosecutor.
prosecutor.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I apologize.
That's all right.
Are you talking about items 1 and 2?
Yes, Mike, would you like to?
I believe these areas are 66% funded by state and federal, and we're required to do it.
We're required to do them, so.
Or we don't get the reimbursement.
Right. And we may be required to do it if we did it anyways.
I'm sorry, Walt, yeah, I'd just like to bring it up to the public, a little bit of clarification on what we're doing now. No further discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to consider authorizing Peninsula Fiber Networks LLC and/or its affiliate PFN Next Gen 911 Services LLC to be the primary 911 network provider. Authorize the board chair to execute resolution 160902 to that effect, and to execute a letter of authorization for PFN to place routing orders with carriers.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to consider authorizing Shiawassee County Central Dispatch to utilize funds from their cash investment accounts to purchase the next generation Airbus Vesta 9-1-1 CPE equipment from InDigital for the amount of $187,656 to be paid with a deposit of 30% down and the remainder upon installation, and authorize the board chair to execute all required documents.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Motion to consider authorizing the adoption of the Shiawassee County Emergency Telephone Service District Tentative Plan, and authorize the board chair to execute all required documents.
Support. Motion and support. Is there any discussion? This is the motion that was changed from yesterday. Further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to consider authorizing budget amendment 1616 to make Shiawassee County Central Dispatch investment account funds available to the 2016 budget for the purchase of a digital security system.
Support.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? In favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Moving on to item 9, consider a motion to consider authorizing the approval of the Victims' Rights Grant between the MDHHS and the Shiawassee County Prosecutor's Office for the period of October 1, 2016 to September 30, 2017, and authorize Deanna Finnegan to execute all required documents.
Motion and support. Is there any discussion? In favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to authorize the Sheriff's Department to hire 2 corrections officers to fill 2 vacancies under the current bargaining unit contract terms.
Second.
Motion and support. Sir, now.
These are to fill 2 vacancies off the road. So that what's going to happen is 2 road patrol deputies who are currently working in jail are going to come out and fill the road vacancies, and then we're going to backfill in the corrections.
Any discussion? In favor of moving this motion forward, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Just during this, before you say you're all done, yesterday we had quite a discussion about turning our dispatch and department into an authority. And after several discussions and points, I think it was kind of, we alluded to the fact that it would be a very good idea to have a special meeting and bring in the parties who handle authorities, which there was an attorney here yesterday who does, the dispatch board and everything, to have a good roundtable talk about what is good about an authority, or maybe what's good about keeping it just as a county department. And when you were here yesterday, you couldn't be here, so I would ask the chairman to call a special meeting real soon, for open meeting for everybody to come, public, whatever, and listen to the things about what an authority can do, what's on the horizon for dispatch, 911, so on and so forth. So if we have that date today, it'd be great. But
I would ask that we wait to set that date until Bonnie Toski did her due diligence and we have an opinion
which is
on that.
Maybe we could do that at our regular board meetings. still a
maybe next month or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Instead of a special meeting if.
Yeah.
It all depends on volume tasking.
Right, I agree, Les.
Yeah.
But I agree that I don't think, I don't know if we tabled it indefinitely or what we did yesterday, but I feel it needs to be brought back up, but we need to wait until this.
Yeah, we didn't take any action yesterday. I mean, we didn't take any action. But this was kind of what, you know, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, isn't it?
It's a big deal, and it's a big change, and of course, there's a lot of changes coming to 911 with the new equipment, all the activities that it will do that the old system won't, didn't. So it's, even get up to date on that would be great too.
I didn't completely agree with how it was handled yesterday, but it was fine. But I agree totally that that's what it needs, needs to be done.
So we would just leave it with the chairman.
I will be meeting with Bonnie tomorrow. We do have a full slate, to be quite honest. I hope that this can make it down there. I don't know.
She may not be ready at this point.
But again, we have a full slate of things tomorrow to discuss that I hope we can get done, and I will put this, make sure that she push her on it, make sure she gets some work done, or put somebody on it that we can get some information soon. I do have questions, you know, there are things that will be quite complicated to break down the MERS, splitting that up and individuals and the contracts and how do you do that. That's just one issue, so I will talk to her tomorrow and try to force the issue a little bit.
I agree totally with Commissioner Schneider on bringing that up yesterday, though. So it's something that needs, whichever way it goes, it needs to be discussed further. It was what little bit we had in our pamphlet really didn't.
I'd also like to thank the dispatch board, the director, and the personnel at the sheriff's department, everybody, for all the work they put in all this thing, all the big changes coming. And so it's been going on for a while, but now it's happening. It's moving right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, good luck.
That concludes your report, Commissioner
Yes,
Morgan.
that
Thank you.
concludes my report.
Health and Human Services, Commissioner Rupp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I consider I'll move to authorize the Health Department to contract the Shiawassee Regional Education Service District to provide social work services to Durant Public Schools for a period of October 1, 2016 to September 30, 2017, in the amount of $75,000, and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Larry talked about it yesterday, it's just a renewal, a continuation of services.
Further discussion, all in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to consider authorizing the Health Department to contract with the State of Michigan for renewal of the local health department comprehensive agreement for a period of October 1, 2016 through September 30th, 2017 in the amount of $895,676 and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Motion is support. Is there any discussion?
That's the grant that we get to run most of the department. Run that board.
Did I hear that one? All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to consider authorizing the Health Department to enter into an agreement with Owasso Public Schools to provide school nurse services to Lincoln High School for the school year 2016-2017 and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Any discussion on this matter?
It's just a renewal for them. Larry?
We just provide services to the school.
Another positive thing that the county provides to the community.
In favor of moving this motion forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to consider entering into agreement with Shiawassee 35th Circuit Court, Shiawassee County Jail, and Recovery Pathways to provide drug court program services for a period of October 1, 2015 through September 30, 2017, and authorize Larry Johnson, Health Director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Motion is support. Is there any discussion?
Larry told us yesterday, and I'm on the health board, that he goes over there and takes blood tests from individuals and saves the county a lot of money. So instead of having a special contractor, and it's done with the nurses from the health department.
Instead of $800 per test, it'll be
Per
about
test.
80.
Yeah. What do you say?
All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I Move to consider authorizing the health department to enter into an ancillary provider affiliation agreement for the maternal infant health program of Blue Cross, complete for calendar year 2017, and authorize Larry Johnson, health director, to execute all required documents.
Support. Any discussion?
This is another renewal. All these, it used to be you had to bill them to the state, now they've got to bill them all individually now. There it is.
In favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to consider authorizing the health department to enter into a billing agreement with United Healthcare for the maternal infant health program for calendar year 2017. And authorize Larry Johnson, health director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Any discussion?
It's the same thing, he's just billing each individual.
Our last health board meeting was a doozy.
Yeah.
There's a lot on here, and the state just keeps putting more and more on us.
Yeah.
Sure. All in favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to consider authorizing the health department to enter into a billing agreement with McLaren Health Plan for maternal infant health program for calendar year 2017, and authorize Larry Johnson, health director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Any discussion? Anything? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to consider authorizing the health department to enter into a billing agreement with Meridian Health Plan for the maternal infant health program for calendar year 2017. Authorize Larry Johnson, health director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Any discussion? In favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move to consider authorizing the health department to enter into an affiliation agreement with the University of Michigan Flint for nursing school student placement, and authorize Larry Johnson, health director, to execute all required documents.
Support.
Discussion?
Just another way that Larry's staying ahead of the curve, kind of create a program where he's kind of funneling the talent to the county, and for what it's not said, he does a heck of a job and tremendous job with utilizing the little county dollars that he does receive, but also the federal state dollars he does receive.
In favor of moving this forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Then we'll just go on to the health department accreditation letter from the state of Michigan. We're having a presentation tomorrow. Larry will be back.
Yeah. There's 120,
About 120.
yeah, and we passed them all. First time, I
It's
guess.
the first time ever.
He's doing a great job.
Like that.
Commissioner Howell.
We meet with Bonnie tomorrow, I imagine, for 8 hours, and it should be fun.
Under other agenda items, at 5:30 today in the drain office, there's a meeting with the lawyer and township supervisors to discuss what's going on with the Mystigay. I don't know if Commissioner Holzhausen would like to just briefly just tell us a little bit. And if any commissioners want to go, Tony said they're more than welcome.
Yeah, I plan on going. I don't know if I need to too much. I was at the Michigan Creek meeting first of the week, and we was there for 2 or 3 hours, and they kind of got everybody decided, but I think they got a lawsuit, Albee Township against the drainage board again. But their lawyer was there, the county was there, and he said that they're going to try to hold off on it for a while, and going to hold off on it for a while, and they decided instead of spending $10 million, they're talking about $2 million, and there was a little discussion, they're going to lose a lot of riprap or rock, and they're going to call some companies and see what kind of price that is, so you can find out that. And so Albee Township trustee was there, so he kind of backed off, so he's going to talk to his lawyer and kind of a lawsuit. I think that is all, this is all talk, so maybe we'll get something done instead of spending $10 million, about maybe $2 million. Now we spent $1 million, so we decided maybe it should be over maybe 3 or 4. So we're hoping things are looking a little better over there. So they got to decide pretty soon because they only got so many years to, according to the drain code, to do that project or to even start it. So think they're only got.
It's been 6 years. I saw Tony.
Yeah.
It's been 6 years. I think there's 7 or, I mean, it's.
Yeah, there's a limit of 6 years, but yet when there's a lawsuit, and then it starts over again, so.
Oh, okay.
Would it be fair to say, Commissioner, that even if they were to settle something in the next couple of months, it would be after the waters recede in the spring before they can start?
Yeah, well, we're not even that far yet, so. I've been to meetings and meetings and meetings for 2 to 3 or 4 hours for years, for the last 5, 6 years.
Any other agenda items? Public comment?
Just one more thing. Thank you for considering our request. I just had a point of clarification. So the original request that we had made was for 2016-17, the one for 2016, one for 2017. The agenda had 2017, 2018, so just trying to understand the timing and everything, because I know one motion failed and one passed, so.
In 16, we do the 17 budget, so.
The budget's already set.
So the 16 budget was done in 15. So.
Okay.
So basically go back and open up last year's budget to increase it 25,000, or we could talk about increasing it going forward.
Okay, gotcha.
So we basically approved 2018 giving you money and said for you to come. No, we don't have it, and for you to come back in 6 months or so.
Okay.
And after these other issues are settled.
So the budget that's going to be approved this year.
We're not looking, for the 17 budget, we're looking at not including it. But post-November, we could go back and open that up, as most budgets don't get completed until April of the following year. We vote on approval, but the money, the revenues, expenditures, bills still come in, tax dollars still come in.
It's a calendar year, right? Okay. Thank you.
So basically, at this point, nothing 17, but we can revisit it, and we agree to give you more in 18.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate the deliberation today. It's obvious that whatever your position was, you had the county's best interest in mind, and I think that's good for the public to see. Again, regardless of what your position was. I'd also like, there was a comment made earlier about a master plan being woefully inadequate. I do want to let the board know that the master plan for a county this size to do a complete overhaul ranges anywhere from $50,000 to $85,000. Our company took that on under our envelope of what we do on a daily basis so that the county could keep compliant with state law. We do not have maps. We will have maps from what we've done with the hazard mitigation plan. So we will take those necessary steps. We worked with what we had and we moved it through. And unfortunately, what I feel bad for is the planning commissioners and former planning commissioners that put a lot of work and effort into that master plan. So broad assertions sometimes put us in a very negative light. The last thing I'd like to do is just thank Justin Horvath for his advice and counsel a couple years back when we were looking to permanently locate our headquarters. We just broke ground or tear down, started in the city of Langsburg for our offices. We worked with MEDC to get a grant for the facade, and it's our money as the match on the inside. So we will be a local business within Shiawassee County. So, thank you.
Like I stated earlier, there's still growing things to go on with what the changes that we made up there. You know, and we're working towards improving things. There was problems, and we're working through them, and I think things will continue to even get better.
And it's still going.
And
I'd just like to say there's been great continuity. I've been here 6 years. It's been excellent. In the past, we had some good zoning administrators, planners, and directors, and sometimes we didn't. And when we didn't, or the one left and there wasn't anybody to replace them for sometimes a year or two, you think about that, without a head in that department for a year or two, it caused a lot of problems. A lot of things didn't get done properly. But since Pete's been there with his staff, things get done correctly. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.